Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Tuesday, March 21st, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Washington Wizards vs Orlando Magic. Both Orlando and Washington have struggled this season, and both will likely fail to make the play-in. As well, both have been inconsistent, which makes this game hard, but I do like the Wizards to win and cover here. The two times these two teams played, Washington won both 119-100 and 138-118, and have an average margin of victory of 19.5 points, as the Wizards have blown out Orlando in both games, including a 19-point win on the road. As well, the Magic are coming off a West Coast road trip, and coming back does pose some challenges with the time change, and didn't have much time off to adjust, while Washington has been off since Saturday and will be well rested. Take the Wizards to cover here. I do like the under in this one, as both Orlando and Washington struggle defensively. This season, the Wizards are 36-33-2 in hitting the under while on the road, and Washington is 22-14-1 in hitting the under. The Magic, meanwhile, are 35-35-2 in hitting the under, and after a loss, Orlando is 22-19-1 in hitting the under. As well, this season the Wizards are playing at a pace of 100.5, which ranks 20th, while their offensive efficiency ranks 19th. The Magic, meanwhile, play at a pace of 101.6, which ranks 15th, while the team's offensive efficiency ranks 26th. Both teams will struggle to score points, as both offensives have struggled this season, which is why I like the under. Detroit Pistons vs Atlanta Hawks. This is a tough pick to make with Murray listed as questionable, which is why odds makers are taking their time to post a line. However, I am comfortable fading Detroit either way on Tuesday night. The Pistons are not only the worst team in the NBA, but they have found a way to get even worse. They have failed to cover the spread in 5 of their last 6 games and are dealing with multiple key injuries. Atlanta is fighting for a spot in the Eastern Conference play-in tournament, giving the Hawks a motivational edge in this matchup. They are also coming off a disastrous blown lead against San Antonio, so they will be sure to maintain their lead on Tuesday. Our team pick is Atlanta to cover. Taking the over in this matchup for a couple of reasons. This is a tricky over. The Pistons have been going under as of late, however, they are slowly returning players from injury and are scoring more and more each game, while the Hawks show no real tendency between the over or under. However, when these teams face off against each other, they tend to frequently go over. These teams have gone over in 8 of their past 11 meetings overall, and in 16 of their past 21 meetings in Atlanta. In addition, the Hawks are very offense-oriented, with their adjusted offensive rating ranking considerably higher than their adjusted defensive rating, while the Pistons are just terrible at both, particularly more on the defensive end than the offensive. Both teams also rank above average in terms of pace, with Atlanta ranking 7th while Detroit ranks 13th, meaning we can expect both teams to work quickly on both ends of the court, resulting in more possessions, and in turn, more points. Both teams allow more than 115 points per game on average, making me confident in taking the over for this matchup, over 238.5 points. Cleveland Cavaliers vs Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn's having offensive issues and going up against the NBA's top defense. I know that Cleveland isn't the same on the road, but that sounds like a recipe for disaster. The Nets are reeling right now in general, and this is a tight spread against a tough team that's playing well. At this point of the season, Cleveland is better on both ends of the floor, and even if Jarrett Allen doesn't play, that shouldn't change the outcome of this game. Take the Cavaliers on the spread while it's still only 2 points. Our team Cleveland Cavaliers -2 points. I really like the under on Tuesday. The Cavaliers have one of the NBA's best defenses in terms of points allowed and field goal percentage allowed. Considering Brooklyn's recent offensive struggles over their past 3 games, 2 of which were at home, I think this is the perfect situation to jump on the under. On the other side of the ball, the Nets feature the league's second leading shot blocker in Claxton, who averages 2.5 blocks per game. Cleveland's outside shooting has not been great this season, and their head coach just praised the team for finding different ways to score, but that's going to be more challenging on Tuesday against a strong interior presence like Claxton. The pace of play is another thing to consider. The Cavs rank dead last in pace according to dunksandtrees.com, while Brooklyn is just 19th. The under has hit in 3 straight games for Brooklyn and 7 of the Nets' last 10 games. Our total pick is under 219.5 points. San Antonio Spurs vs New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans is in the thick of the playoff race, while San Antonio is trying to lose games to try and get the first overall pick and turn their franchise around, which is why I like the Pelicans here to win and cover the large spread. Both New Orleans and the Spurs have struggled against the spread this season, but San Antonio is 30-41 at TS, which is third worst, and as a road underdog, the Spurs are 11-22. The Pelicans, meanwhile, are 12-12 at TS, which is much better than their overall Austrian shillings record. As well, this season, New Orleans is 3-0 against San Antonio, with the average margin of victory being 15.3 ppg. The Pelicans' offense should have a field day against the Spurs' defense, which is arguably the worst in the NBA. Take New Orleans to cover. San Antonio is fourth with respect to pace of play entering this Western Conference meeting with the Pelicans. They are an entertaining group to watch, and they play hard, but that only gets you so far when you are trotting out a G League level lineup. Jeremy Sochan missed the Atlanta game after aggravating a sore right knee in the first quarter of Friday's game against Memphis. Do not expect the Spurs to rush him back, and he will likely miss this game. The total number has gone under in 8 of New Orleans' last 10 games, and 9 of 12 between these two clubs, heading in opposite directions. Take the under 235.5 points. Boston Celtics vs Sacramento Kings. There are times in sports when some teams simply are a poor matchup for another, regardless of record. While both of these teams are playing well, the Kings do not match up very well with Boston. Boston's all-star wing tandem of Brown and Jason Tatum is a true matchup nightmare for a Kings team not rich in wings that are defensive stoppers. Boston should not have much problem scoring with Sacramento and have the advantage of a much more sound defensive strategy that should be able to slow the Kings' offense. The Celtics easily handled Sacramento and Boston earlier this season, 122-104. Brown and Tatum combined for 55 points on 19 of 33 shooting. I don't expect those numbers to vary much in this matchup. The possible return of Williams only strengthens Boston's defense and should further the Celtics' overall advantage. Lastly, the Kings are a respectable 7-5 in the second game of back-to-backs, but this one comes off of a 5-game road trip. Take Boston -4 points. Sacramento is 10th with respect to pace of play entering this contest with the Boston Celtics. Considering they are on a back-to-back, I expect their energy levels to be 20% lower here, and coach Mike Brown would be wise to rest some of his stars. Boston is one of the best defensive clubs in the NBA, and they will likely have Al Horford and Marcus Smart back. They struggled to stop Utah 2 nights ago, but they ran out of gas after playing 3 games in 4 nights. They are 49-23 on the year, third place in a very hotly contested Eastern Conference. They have not been as dominant as they were earlier in the year, but the injuries have a lot to do with that. They will put on the defensive clamps in this game. Take the under. Oklahoma City Thunder vs Los Angeles Clippers. Both teams enter this contest red hot. Oklahoma City has not played as well on the road this season as they have at home, but the Clippers have not dominated on their own home court, just 3 games above .500. The Thunder have also beaten the Clippers both times this season and are 6-1 at TS in the last 7 meetings. One stat to watch is that Los Angeles is averaging 111.4 points per game at home this season, while Oklahoma City is averaging 113.6 points per game on the road. They can match Los Angeles offensively, but are clearly not as good defensively. However, Los Angeles cannot take advantage of that, which should keep this game close, giving Oklahoma the victory against the spread. Our team pick is Oklahoma City Thunder at +7 points. Oklahoma City has seen the over go 13-3-1 in their last 17 games after giving up 100 or more points in their previous game. LA is on a 5-0 streak of the over hitting after winning their previous game by more than 10 points. Even better, the Thunder average the second highest pace in the entire league. A higher pace essentially means that they average more possessions per game, which naturally results in more scoring opportunities. The total has also gone over in 2 of their last 3 matches, all played in 2022. Oklahoma City attempts the most field goals per game of any team, 92.7, which is why the over is 42-28-1 in their games this season, and that's why I'm going with the over.